The search continues.
We are very confident about a positive outcome.
The efforts to find 5-year-old Darius McDougall in the Crow's Nest Pass. Plus, the nominations are in and the election campaign is officially on.
We know that the majority of people in Calgary and Edmonton and around the province don't want political parties.
What you need to know ahead of the municipal election. And changes coming to the CFL.
We think touchdowns are an important driver for fandom.
What's being done to make the game more exciting.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Jacqueline Wilson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news. Fire crews battled a blaze in the city's southeast. It happened about 8:45 p.m. in the 1100 block of New Brighton Park. First responders say it spread to 3 garages and had to call in backup. Police have been asked to help. They were on scene providing crowd control and assistance as neighbors along the street were evacuated. There's no word yet if there are any injuries. A desperate search is underway tonight for a missing 5-year-old boy in the Crow's Nest Pass. He wandered away from his family Sunday morning. 5-year-old Darius McDougall was hiking with his siblings near Island Lake Campground when he disappeared. Dozens of people have been searching since yesterday for the boy who has autism, which may prevent him from responding to others. Carson Marzik reports.
From the air and on the ground, dozens of search and rescue members, RCMP and conservation officers are searching for 5-year-old Darius McDougall.
Family went out for a walk. Darius was not among the ones that returned. They went back to the site, searched for a good time before calling 911, and search and rescue was deployed immediately.
Searchers responded around 11:30 Sunday morning. RCMP say Darius was walking with family on a road that connects to Tent Mountain and allows camping on Crown land when he got separated. McDougall has autism and police say that may prevent him from responding to others.
How a 5-year-old boy will react in a specific situation is difficult at the best of times. So we need to keep that in mind. Fortunately for us, we are able to draw upon the provincial resources in Alberta.
The area off of Highway 3 near the Alberta-BC boundary includes steep terrain, with search and rescue focusing on an area about 2 kilometers in.
We are in a valley, a river valley itself. There are 2 small rivers that are also in play. There's a large bog that we continue to search, and some fairly steep, rugged, forested terrain.
Members from search groups in southwest Alberta, Lethbridge, Foothills, and Cochrane have been canvassing the area since Sunday. Police are also using helicopters, drones, and dogs to find the missing boy, also searching the water Monday afternoon.
We have not narrowed the scope. We are expanding it as appropriate for our search avenues right now.
Officers and search members will continue their efforts throughout the night.
We are very confident about a positive outcome. The weather is in our favor.
Well, RCMP and Search and Rescue are thanking the public for wanting to help find the young boy. At this time, they are asking people to avoid the area to allow their trained teams to continue their searches. Carson Marzik, CTV News, Crow's Nest Pass.
RCMP are requesting assistance from search and rescue organizations. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Well, police now say a shooting on McLeod Trail on Sunday is connected to organized crime. A man in his 20s survived the targeted shooting that happened in a parking lot near a sandwich shop on 55th Ave Southwest. He's in stable condition. Police believe the suspect took off in a black Hyundai. That vehicle was found about 10 minutes away. It had been lit on fire and abandoned. Investigators are going through the car for evidence, but they've made no arrests. Calgary police say that we are on the wrong road when it comes to driving in our city, with fatal collisions on an upward trend. Tyson Fedor reports.
Calgarians are dying on city roads a little more frequently.
Many of them are preventable. Excessive speed has been a factor in nearly 30% of the fatal collisions this year.
This year alone, 27 people have died in collisions, 8 were pedestrians, and 6 were motorcyclists. And we're on track to surpass last year's total of 29, a 10-year record.
I think the bigger issue is that pedestrians are getting hit in crosswalks while crossing with the right-of-way and without, and in places where there's not crosswalks. It's really more about the behavior and interacting with who the driver is instead of just walking across the road.
I don't think she saw me.
The city has partnered with police to help find solutions to cut down on crashes.
Identifying hotspots where we're seeing collision trends. We're also piloting the use of artificial intelligence so that we can do some predictive modeling of where collisions are happening.
Calgarians also feel driving in our city has become more dangerous.
Calgary drivers are showing a lot of impatience.
They cut you off, they don't signal, they tailgate. It's awful. You really have to drive defensively.
I noticed, especially on Stoney, it's like the Indy 500 on there, and I think people just need to slow down and kind of take their time and just be cognizant of other drivers.
There have been several fatalities on Stoney Trail. It's also a road that does not see automated traffic enforcement once the province banned photo radar earlier this year.
We do believe that ATE does help with public safety. Having said that, we've seen fatal collisions in intersections where there never was ATE there.
Despite the sobering statistics, more people died on city roads between 1984 and 2004, averaging 37 deaths annually. In 1985, 49 people died. Between 1986 and 87, when wearing a seatbelt became law, there were 12 fewer deaths on the road.
In 2 years, 56 Calgarians have lost their lives. And so regardless of a comparison to past numbers, one is too many.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
The driver of a motorcycle sustained serious injuries after a collision with a sedan. They were transported to hospital in stable condition today. It happened about 5:20 p.m. on Bow Trail and 85th Street in the southwest. And the driver of an SUV was not seriously hurt after crashing into a house this afternoon. The vehicle collided with the home in Marlborough shortly after 3 p.m. Nobody inside was injured. It is officially the first day of fall, but Danielle, it certainly doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it. And if you thought today was impressive, because it was, I mean, how lucky are we? It was beautiful today. Tomorrow will definitely feel more like summer, as our daytime high will get into the upper 20s, believe it or not. So a whole lot of sunshine for tomorrow. Again, that high of 27. Even your morning will be quite toasty. At 8 a.m., you're looking at 16 degrees. It's quite a different weather forecast for Wednesday. So enjoy this while you have it. And we'll talk about Wednesday in just a little bit.
Okay, thanks, Danielle. The nomination period for the next month's election has come to an end. Candidates for mayor, council, and school board trustees, they had until noon to file their papers, which included signatures, a deposit, and a criminal record check. According to Elections Calgary, 9 people have been nominated for mayor. There will also be 8 ridings who will be voting for a new councillor this election. Candidates still have until noon tomorrow to withdraw their nomination. And candidate names aren't the only thing that Calgary voters will see on ballots this year. Political parties are being tested in Alberta's 2 biggest cities. Jordan Canigan reports.
The signs are up and the official election period is underway in Calgary, and there's one major change on the ballot.
We know that the majority of people in Calgary and Edmonton and around the province don't want political parties.
Yet here they are. 3 have registered in Calgary vying for votes in October. A Better Calgary party is running 7 council candidates across wards.
We find it easier going to the door. Do you normally vote Conservative? Yes. We put a lawn sign on. It makes the door knocking go really quick too. It's a little different than just selling yourself. You're selling a philosophy as well.
Communities First is running 10 council candidates and mayoral candidate Sonia Sharp.
We know that some investments are required that may not necessarily follow traditional progressive conservative sort of party lines. So I wouldn't call us progressives. I would say we're more of a centrist party than any of them, and right-leaning.
And the Calgary Party has candidates in all but one ward, plus mayoral candidate Brian Thiessen.
We saw the opportunity to create something really positive. So we formed a centrist political party, the Calgary Party. We have, people with masters in urban planning, and we have people who've run small businesses.
Candidates within the parties share priorities. They also share resources, too. Rules allow donations to individual candidates and to political parties, effectively doubling contribution limits.
It allows us to raise money and, purchase signs and brochures, etc., as a team.
Parties say it also provides accountability.
Last election, for example, people were voting for individuals thinking they were conservative because they said so at the door, but they really were not conservative.
Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
Candidates do not need to belong to a party, and the vast majority of people running for mayor and council are independent. Advanced voting runs October 6th to 11th, with Election Day on October 20th. Stay with us. Up next, missing luggage. One couple's wait to get their checked bags 1 week after a bomb threat on their plane to Calgary.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Provincial and territorial ministers responsible for mental health, addiction and recovery are in Banff to discuss priorities and concerns facing their region.
We're all pulling together for the same reason, is to help people. That's what we want to do. Get out there. One of the groups says, wake up, save lives and repeat. And that's what we do. That's our job.
The group wrote a letter to the federal government with a list of funding requests, including more aid for vulnerable Canadians. Minister Wilson says that he was impressed by portions of British Columbia's treatment model and would look to put some of their solutions into practice here. 1 in 5 Albertans will experience mental illness or addiction in any given year. That is according to the province. The Society of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of Canada say that the use of Tylenol during pregnancy is safe. The society has reviewed its position on usage of the medication during pregnancy in light of reports drawing links between acetaminophen use while pregnant and autism in children. Today, U.S. President Donald Trump promoted unproven ties between Tylenol, vaccines, and autism without giving any new evidence. A week ago, bomb threats aboard flights from Germany to Calgary forced a NORAD response. The threats turned out to be not credible, but one couple who was aboard the flight still are waiting to receive their checked bags. Tyler Barrow reports.
Last Monday, Canadian authorities were alerted of bomb threats on 3 inbound flights from Germany to Calgary. As officials were assessing the threat's credibility, air traffic controllers were talking to pilots.
Confirm that's 40 minutes delay on the 2440. 2440, yeah, we'll have a little bit more for you in just a second.
That incoming Condor flight did land safely, as did the other 2, and NORAD deemed the threats not credible, but passengers are still dealing with the aftermath.
Not received at airport.
Bethany and Jonathan Legore are still waiting for their checked bags. After they landed, they say an airport employee had them fill out paperwork and said the bags would be delivered to them. They're still waiting.
Really frustrating to have to be on the phone dealing with all of this when I'm supposed to just be recovering.
The couple was returning from Romania, where Bethany had surgery. The airport told them the airline is responsible for their bags, but they have had no luck with Condor.
I have reached out every single day and have either been rerouted to phone numbers that are not assigned and not in service, or agents that cannot help me at all.
And there might be a reason they're struggling to find answers, according to one aviation expert.
That there was something that requires further investigation and a more in-depth analysis of the bags that were transferred on those 3 airplanes.
Craddock says authorities stay quiet when serious threats are investigated. CTV News did reach out to Condor. The airline asked us to provide their luggage tag numbers. After responding to the request, we did not hear back.
Secretive process that basically, unfortunately, people's belongings are caught in that situation.
In total, there was 222 guests and 12 crew members on the Legore's Condor flight. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
CTV News did reach out to CPS and NORAD, and it is still not clear where the threat originated. A pair of orphan grizzly bear cubs have a new home at the Calgary Zoo. Fish and Wildlife Enforcement Services say that a hunter shot and killed a grizzly bear that charged at him last week near Diamond Valley. The bear left 2 cubs behind, both of whom were born this year, and they would have been unable to care for themselves. Wildlife officers captured the cubs and they brought them to the Calgary Zoo. Danielle Savoni is along next with her Skywatch forecast. Stay with us.
Calgary.
What a beautiful day to kick off the fall season. We got to a high of 20 in the city today. Normal daytime high is about 16 degrees for this time of year. So we are above normal, and a lot of those lower 20s. Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon, Regina, Churchill even. High 20s though, or at least mid 20s in the Winnipeg area and Toronto. Okay, so let's talk about what is going on, because we are stuck in this pattern. It's a really good pattern to be stuck in. We have a ridge of high pressure. The jet stream is redirecting all that cloud cover and dragging it all up and around us, and that moisture. This weather pattern is going to shift for Wednesday, and it's going to come quite close to us. So we'll see some cloud cover by Wednesday because of this, and temperatures will take a dip as well. But really, as we go through the rest of this week, we will be, for the most part, under a ridge of high pressure, aside from Wednesday, and for much of next week as well. So we have a lot of stable, mainly sunny weather and toasty temperatures in this longer range forecast. Okay, looking at the future cast, you can see that jet stream getting quite close to us for Wednesday. Now, again, the moisture will die out before it really gets to us. We'll have some cloud cover likely creep in on Wednesday, and then this will shift back up again by the time we get into Thursday, which is why your longer range forecast looks like this. So a hot one tomorrow, 27 degrees. That will be the hottest day of the next 10 days, absolutely. And then on Wednesday, as the jet stream comes close to us, temperatures will drop. This weather pattern will be changing. 17 degrees is a high. So that's quite a difference a day makes, as they say. A 10-degree temperature difference with regards to daytime highs between Tuesday and Wednesday. But we bounce right back into the 20s for Thursday, and we'll hold on to those 20s for a good part of next week as well. If you check out this 10-day trend, again, tomorrow will be the hottest day of the next 10. And then we'll be closer to normal on Wednesday. Back into the 20s for Thursday, and those 20s will likely last all the way until Monday or even Tuesday of next week.
Thanks, Danielle. The CFL has announced that it's making some changes to the game to make it a little bit more exciting in the hopes of bringing back some fans. Glenn Campbell reports.
The biggest changes to the CFL game will happen in 2027. The field will be shortened from 110 to 100 yards, but the width will remain the same at 65 yards. Changes in the end zone will see the upright move to the back, and the size will shrink from 20 to 15 yards. CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnston says it's all about making the game more entertaining.
We think touchdowns are an important driver for fandom. And ultimately, what we're doing is we're trading field goals for touchdowns.
But next season, we'll also see changes. In 2026, the Rouge will no longer include a single point for a missed field goal attempt or when kickoffs or punts sail through the end zone without being touched.
This removes the possibility that the Grey Cup or a playoff matchup, or any game for that matter, will be decided by a missed field goal or a punt or a kickoff through the end zone.
The only way a single point will be rewarded is if a punt, field goal, or kickoff settles in the end zone and the returner fails to take it out or takes a knee. Next year, all teams will have a bench on opposite sides of the field, cutting down distances for substitutions. And a new 35-second play clock will begin as soon as the previous play is whistled dead. Stamps head coach and general manager Dave Dickinson learned about the changes on his way to practice on Monday.
Really wasn't consulted and didn't have any input on it, so I'd rather digest what I hear, go back and actually read what was put in, probably have a little bit more to say down the road.
Linebacker Adam Bighill is part of the CFL's executive board and was informed what the changes would be.
This is a bit of Stuart's vision in driving this game forward, and we're going to stand behind it as long as that's taking care of player safety and us growing in the game, and we're happy.
Online, many CFL fans are expressing outrage, from describing the changes as garbage to saying it destroys what makes the league Canadian. but here in Calgary, fans don't seem to mind.
So I think it's a pretty good rule, and be more excited, more fast,
The changes aren't going to be too bad, I don't think.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
Well, the Calgary Tower is lit up pink tonight. It's a reminder for Calgarians that the Canadian Cancer Society CIBC Run for the Cure is taking place on Sunday at South Centre Mall. This year, the goal is to raise a record $1 million for breast cancer research and support program. On average in Canada, 84 women will be diagnosed and 15 will die every day from breast cancer. Jewish New Year celebrations are underway. How Calgarians are enjoying Rosh Hashanah next. Today is the beginning of the Jewish New Year, and there are a number of celebrations in Calgary. The blowing of the shofar, or ram's horn, marks the beginning of the Jewish New Year, during which Jews ask God for forgiveness for mistakes that they made in the past year. It precedes Yom Kippur, also known as the Day of Atonement, the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. Jews are encouraged to give to charity and share a meal of fish with loved ones. The National Music Centre hosted a number of emerging Indigenous artists last week to help them navigate the business side of the industry. It's the 4th year of the program. 8 performers enrolled to learn the ins and the outs from their mentors and to hopefully avoid some of the pitfalls. Kevin Fleming reports.
I'll take you with me now.
She started playing an instrument when she was 12 and wrote her first song soon after. Now Damasi Ellis is learning from mentors in the Indigenous music community to help further her career.
For me, learning about how to use social media a little bit better was a really big one. And as well, just looking at maybe placing more importance in my own practice on songwriting and collaborating with other people in that process.
Ellis is one of 8 emerging Indigenous artists who took part in the National Music Centre's incubator program with a Blackfoot name.
We wanted to honor the land that the NMC is on, so the Blackfoot word, and it means Osotakino is to recognize the voice of, and that's exactly what we do with the program.
David McLeod says the program's agenda comes from the students, and mentors share their experiences they've learned the hard way.
They call it music industry or music business for a reason, so people want to know the in and outs, and several other areas as well.
Shelby Sapier's stage name is Beats, and he's keen to learn everything he can about the industry through the program.
I know what it takes. You have to be business orientated. You have to know the business side of things. And if you don't know your business, then your brand isn't, going to be successful.
Kaylee Cardinal is making a living off of playing her music and says it was a lot of hard work and took a long time to get to this point in her career.
I think what it is it's you create different streams of income. You become an entrepreneur. You figure out how to make it work. And that's how I did it. So I think anybody can do it.
The spirit inside me longs for freedom.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, what a great program. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.